Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Roberto Blake. I am a creative entrepreneur. I am somebody who makes a lot of content here on YouTube, and today I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about some YouTube channels that are being deleted, have almost been deleted, things like that. A minor crisis in certain communities in YouTube. And I also want to talk to you guys about my YouTube starter kit, because that's something that I think a lot of you actually should be interested in. And we're going to talk a little bit about Vidsummit, which is coming up, where you're going to get to meet awesome people like myself, Peter McKinnon, Sarah Dici, Coney Weiner, Daryl Eves, and so many other amazing people from the YouTube community. I cannot wait for that event in October. It's going to be tremendous, and I'm really excited about it. So there's a couple of things to cover. Real quick, though, this other light is throwing me off, so hang on. And that doesn't look too bad, but we can do better. As many of you know, good lighting is a staple of YouTube, so it really does help. So now I am lit, as the kids would say. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see here. We got a couple of friends in the chat. We got Zach Talks Tech, awesome tech YouTuber. Zach, congratulations. You've been given moderator privileges. You're in charge. So enjoy that. E for Electric. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Hope to see you at Vidsummit. There are some channels being deleted, but E for Electric, I know you're scared. It doesn't necessarily affect you. We will talk about this. This did actually affect a good friend of mine with about almost 600,000 subscribers or so on YouTube. So it's not a small issue, but it is not necessarily an issue that is affecting everybody. Doug in Australia, how are you? In fact, let's pop up some of your chats here on the screen. And my centered, like, webcam positioning is always a little weird for me. I've got two webcams, so, you know, there's that. But how are you guys doing? I super appreciate all of you guys. If you super chat, I'm going to definitely acknowledge those super chats. I might need to power through a part of what I'm covering before I get to them, but do not worry. I will acknowledge your super chats if you want to leave any. So that is in the comment box. And obviously they'll show up here in the replay. Also, guys, I know we talked about YouTube live streams and the algorithm. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these unlisted yet or not. I think for now I'm just going to let them ride, take the penalty in the algorithm. You're welcome, and just try to power through it. You know, I know a lot of stuff about the algorithm, but it doesn't always work for what I want to do for you guys as a community to pander to the YouTube algorithm. So at this point, I'm not that worried about growing because I keep growing, and so I just don't worry about it. It hurts my view to subscriber ratio, but part of the goal is probably to get new people in the door and not just make videos all the time for the exact audience that I have. I'm trying to get new people, trying to grow this community, and losing a little bit of momentum on the live streams is worth it a little bit for the interaction. You guys make it worth it with the great questions and super chats, and everybody that's also a member of the channel. And also, somebody's commenting that the audio is peaking a little bit. I'm going to try to turn that down just a little bit, and that should be better for you guys. So sorry about that. But we should be good going forward now with the audio. So we good? We good? All right. Looks like the audio is doing better. Live stream doesn't hurt everybody in the algorithm. It just really depends on how big your channel is. For a larger channel, there are sometimes disadvantages. And let's try and turn down some of the audio gain here on the mic. Let's see if that helps. Let's see what we can do. All right, I think right about here is probably good for the audio for you guys. So, all right, that shouldn't be coming in too hot now. I know I get a little bit loud, so you should be okay. I'm not going to go into the how YouTube Live hurts the in the algorithm. Like I'm sorry that I even mentioned it. If everybody's just going to ask me about that, I'm just I really don't want to get into it right now. Sorry, it's just a frustrating thing, and it's something that we can talk about at a later point. Right now, what I want to do is I want to actually bring up some stuff around the YouTube channels that have almost been wiped out, because I think that's an important thing that I really want to cover, and I don't want to take forever to get into it. This is going to be like an hour-long live stream, so just kind of get a snack, hanging tight there. But I'm going to bring up something interesting here. So let's move over to screen. All right, so my friend Danny over at Geekdom 101 has a pretty substantial YouTube channel, almost 600,000 subscribers, and you know, he's been in the YouTube community for about 3 years now, built his way up to 500,000. Somebody I'm super proud of. He used a lot of my advice to maximum effect in his niche, but the thing is, his channel almost got deleted. He made a video about it a day ago. He's trying to catch up now on the videos he wanted to put out that he missed, because it got to the point where he had 5 copyright strikes. He had 5 copyright strikes, and he could not upload videos at all because of 5 copyright strikes, and his channel was pretty much queued for deletion. This has since been resolved, and clearly, as you can see, he's able to upload videos again. We had to have a lot of conversations about this. He was really worried about it, but it's not just him. It's other people within the anime community, because a company overseas, a Japanese publisher for manga, it's a company called Shueisha, I believe. Shueisha was doing copyright strikes manually to most of the anime community if anybody happened to do manga reviews. And not just because a lot of people would say, well, it's copyright because they're using the comic book scans and, you know, it's pirated or whatever. Nah, they were even doing it to people who weren't doing any of the panels and were just talking heads, and they were just striking people's channels. And as you guys know, 3 copyright strikes cues your channel for deletion. There were people getting up to 15 copyright strikes. So it's a problem. And, you know, that was something where it's a ton of channels that were affected by this. Some of them have been coming back, and then some of them have not. And these are not small channels, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about channels with 100,000 plus. I mean, as you can see, Geekdom is getting close to 1 million subscribers. He gets a lot of views per video normally when his stuff isn't, you know, being affected by something like this. And this derailed some of his momentum. I mean, he was getting 100,000, 200,000 views per video, and then he has upload problems that kind of derailed his channel a little bit. So in addition to worrying about his channel being deleted, his channel is saved, and he's able to upload again, but he missed almost a week of uploads as a daily upload channel. And on top of that, and here's the audio peaking again. Hang on, guys. All right, audio should be a little bit better. But, I mean, in addition to all these issues with the with Shueisha, with the copyright, it seems like on top of all of that, once he was able to start uploading again because of his time off, he lost some momentum, and some people in the community might have thought, like, well, I guess he's on vacation, or I guess maybe he dropped off, or maybe he quit, because, I mean, he took like 5-6 days without uploading, and he never does that. So it really threw things off for him. But yeah, the YouTube copyright system can be problematic sometimes. And this wasn't really YouTube's fault as much as Shueisha was doing false copyright strikes technically from a certain point of view. But as the property holder, they have the right to do that if it's their property. Now, some of these were quote-unquote false strikes because, again, they're not showing, some of them weren't showing the manga scans at all. So where's the copyright? Where's the fair use, as we like to say in the YouTube community? Where's the fair use, right? Because this should have been allowed under fair use. That being said, fair use content, and right now we're talking about the Dragon Ball and manga community, and it's not just Dragon Ball either, it's anime in general that Shueisha owns the rights to, and it was a lot of channels, but here's the thing. if this media rights holder in Japan could do this and YouTube isn't necessarily holding them accountable, where are we going to be protected if there are copyright holders that don't allow for fair use of their content? That's scary to think about. If you're anyone doing fair use style content, like what happens? What happens to your content? What happens to you? Because you could build a channel, you could get to 500,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, and you're not safe. So high subscriber count won't necessarily save you, because you would think that, like if it wasn't for doing massive effort on his part, I don't think that if Danny didn't have contacts in the industry, that his channel would have survived. So this is a problem, and so it looks like fair use is another problem in the community that we're going to see come back up and crop back up. So I'd be concerned if you're a movie reviewer, even outside of the anime community, if you're a movie or television, or if you do anything that revolves around fair use as the foundation of your channel, if you're a reaction channel, if you're a reviewer, then it's a scary time for you, because if this can happen to a channel as big as Geekdom 101, it could happen to any channel that deals in fair use issues. As someone's bringing up, Team 4-Star, one of the biggest channels on YouTube, also has had issues like this in the past. Channel Awesome, the Nostalgia Critic, has had issues with fair use in the past. So it's just something to consider. You could build something for years, and if it's something that deals in fair use, even if you feel you're playing by all the rules and all of the YouTube community guidelines, then it's an issue, because you could be subject to a company not honoring fair use and honoring fair dealing, and your channel could be struck down. Yeah, you could fight it. You could absolutely fight it. You could try to get lawyers involved, but in the meantime, your channel is dead. Your community thinks you abandoned them, and you're not growing, and you're not making any money. So that sucks if you've made your living on YouTube. If you're making your living on YouTube, which is why I continue to advise you guys. Do not, I'm not trying to tell you you can't be a full-time YouTuber. I'm telling you that if you put all of your eggs into the YouTube basket, it's just like having a day job. You can essentially be fired. In a way. You can be fired. Because we did a live stream for 3 hours where we read the YouTube Terms of Service. You can watch that video. It's here on the channel. Went through 3 hours. We read the community guidelines. There's a lot there where if you do something and it's either a copyright issue or you're violating YouTube's guidelines, everything you built could go away overnight if you rely on YouTube. Part of what I advised Danny to do from Geekdom 101 was to start building up his Twitch channel and to build an archive somewhere off of YouTube for his content, so all the work that he did for the last 3 years doesn't get deleted somehow. And I think that many of you should take this seriously. I, as you know, am a big advocate for YouTube. I love YouTube. I've met some of the rank and file employees. I really believe that they try to do their best toward creators, but it's a massive website. It's hard to serve everybody's interest. You know what they say? If you try to serve everybody, you serve nobody. And they've got so many users. They've got advertisers to answer to. They've got creators of different niches and genres and ages and demographics. And of course, they have the almost 2 billion viewers to think about too. YouTube does an impossible job, and there are a few people that are bad eggs in the community that don't make that job any easier. That said, it is frustrating sometimes to feel like creators are on the bottom of the totem pole. It seems that viewers and advertisers are much more taken into consideration than creators, and on some level, I understand that. From a business standpoint, I do understand that creators might be the most disposable part of YouTube, because the handful of the biggest creators are enough financially to carry the platform. I mean, PewDiePie, Felix, putting us on his back and carrying us to the finish line, right? So love them or hate them, YouTube does something that's really challenging, and I have the utmost respect for what they've created. It allows us to communicate. It allows us to have this conversation. It's a hard job. But sometimes there are things that happen that are out of your control. Some of these things are accidental, and we have to deal with them as a community, and it's frustrating. But if you build your living on this, it's scary as hell. If you are making your living on this and you quit your 9-to-5 job, even one copyright strike or one community strike is scary. It's terrifying because it's a countdown to oblivion. And it can derail everything that you've built and everything that you're doing. And so what I always advise content creators to do is to diversify their income. Diversify your income. I know that a lot of you tune into these live streams just because you want to grow a YouTube channel, you want YouTube channel advice. But I implore you, I beg of you, watch the other videos on this channel. Learn to make money online outside of YouTube. Learn to get high-level skills and freelance in some of your spare time and make money, because if you essentially get fired from YouTube, what are you really going to do? And you don't want to necessarily go back to your 9-to-5 job. So you need to learn how to diversify your revenue, maybe build an online business, maybe build some passive income and other revenue streams, and I can help you do that, and that's what the main content on my channel is. The main content on my channel is a lot around building up high-level creative and technical skills, photography, graphic design, learning online entrepreneurship, learning passive income, affiliate products, selling those things, building your own digital assets and products, selling those, stock photography. Like, I try to teach you as many ways that I've done successfully to make money online with skills that still transfer to the market. So whether you want to build a business, whether you want to, be a freelancer, you want to be independent, you don't want to have to necessarily do what you've been doing. If you turn YouTube into a job instead of building it as a business, you can be fired after a fashion. I don't consider YouTube to be a job. I consider it to be being an independent contractor, but essentially your contract can be terminated. Your contract can be terminated. So protect yourself. Protect yourself by building something bigger than YouTube. And that's kind of my advice to you. That's been my advice to Danny. He's taken the appropriate steps. He's building up his podcast. He's building up his Twitch. He's looking into other things. And Danny's going to be okay. And I'm glad he was able to survive this, what seems like an onslaught of copyright strikes from Suecia. But not every content creator was so lucky. And I've been advocating and talking a lot to a lot of these people in Twitter and in DMs, and trying to do everything that I know how to do, but also trying to help them build their platform elsewhere. There's so many of you. You keep trying to be a bigger YouTuber. You keep focusing on YouTube, and it's dangerous. You're not building your other platforms. You want a silver play button so badly that you don't realize that all your hard work could go away just like that because you refuse to take even one view away from YouTube for Twitch or Facebook or Instagram. So, that's what I want to caution you about. Anyway, some of you guys have questions here on the chat. Let's get them. We got a super chat from Brian Brewer. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat and the thumbs up. Appreciate you, Brian. Love that name, Brian Brewer. It's like, it sounds like a TV show character. I love it. Let's see. What's going on with the chat? The chat frozen on me? What's going on here? I'm having some issues here with the chat on my end, guys, so just kind of bear with me a little bit. El Jefe Reviews says diversification of income is key. Couldn't agree more, buddy. Couldn't agree more with you. Let's see. We got a couple of people talking about strikes that they got, but like their channel's been restored. That's awesome. Good to hear that. Let's see here. Any recent new insights that you've discovered about YouTube that you did not cover in any of your earlier videos? Ted Times asks. I mean, most of it I've covered. And if not, I will be covering it in upcoming videos. So thanks for asking about that. But any new insights that I have about YouTube, I'll cover in upcoming videos. I'm not gonna spoil those videos entirely by covering it here. But thank you for asking. Most of it I've covered in previous videos. It's just a matter of, like, a lot of times it won't be something new so much as I found a better way to explain it, or explain something. I'll give you a primary example. Something I figured out how to explain better is my own view to subscriber ratio. Roberto, why do you have 330,000 subscribers and you get 10,000 views on most of your uploads and videos? Well, first of all, if I pick a certain topic, I can get 100,000 views in a week. We saw that. That was the Stop Trading Time for Money video. That did very well, right? Other videos have popped like that before, so it's not like I don't know how to make videos to get views. But let's set that aside for a minute. Let's assume for 1 minute that I could make videos for my existing audience, the 330 people that subscribe to my channel. Even if I made videos for the 330,000, 340,000 people that subscribe to my channel, how many of those subscribers will YouTube actually give my videos to? So that's the first question mark. Then, again, assuming that I did make videos for the people who already subscribed to me, well, some people subscribe for YouTube growth hacks, some people subscribe for entrepreneurship, some people subscribe for creativity like the design and photography videos. So I'm going to be leaving out 20% or more, or rather I can only cater to about 20-25% of my audience at a time in the first place, tops. So if I make a video for the people that are already subscribed to me, I'm leaving out more than 50% of that audience no matter what I do, because they picked and choose. They don't necessarily watch every video because I don't cover one thing, which is why I tell most of you, well, maybe you should cover one thing and cover it a few different ways, so that you don't run into that issue. But again, on top of that, if I make a video for those, let's say, 70,000 people, how many of those people did YouTube put the video in front of in the first place? So even then, still not going to get the views, because YouTube will pick the people that it thinks I should deliver the video to, and I don't have any say in that, and neither do you as a viewer. So what do you expect me to do about it? If I make a video, why don't we assume for 1 minute that the reason I have 330,000 subscribers and I keep growing, or 340,000 subscribers and I keep growing, let's assume for 1 minute that it's because I'm making videos that will attract people who have no idea who Roberto Blake is and will watch that video anyway and subscribe and watch the rabbit hole of 20 or 30 other videos that I already made since I made 1,200 videos, or that these new people that have no idea who I am like the video and buy something from an affiliate that makes me money, or buys a product or service that I sell that makes me money. Why don't we assume for 1 minute that maybe views are not what I'm trying to accumulate on this channel to look like a good YouTuber, and maybe I'm trying to do something else? Why can't we take 5 minutes and assume that, instead of assuming that I have no idea what I'm doing, when I think it's painfully obvious that I know exactly what I'm doing? That's how I figured out how to kind of explain that. So, I mean, it's little things like I'll figure out how to explain something. And by the way, you guys should take that hint that you could get to a certain threshold of growth in YouTube and wonder why you're not growing. The reason people hit 50,000, 100,000, and they struggle to grow is they get very comfortable and they feed off of the views. So they make videos that are safe for them to make that will get them views, but what will get you views won't always get you new subscribers because you're not reaching new people. You're reaching the people you already have, which is fine. But if you only cater to the audience you have, you can't get a new audience. So, you know, I hope that makes sense. Zachy, I didn't see your live chat. Let me try and hunt it down. But yeah, like, so I kind of like, you know, I'm doing fine, but it's like, it just, that question always annoys me because the question doesn't have critical thinking behind it. The question has no creativity behind it, and it makes a lot of very weak assumptions, and those kind of things just bother me intellectually. I get that not everyone understands YouTube and not everyone lives and breathes YouTube, but I mean, it gets frustrating and gets irritating, especially when people who haven't made 100 videos, let alone 1,000, kind of question whether I know what I'm talking about. Because, like, I mean, I think it's very hard to do something 1,000 times and not learn something of substance or not have something that you can teach people. I think that is, I just feel like that's lazy thinking on people's part. So I'm more irritated by the question, less because it's not that I don't want to be challenged or I don't think that people should question me. I think I'm more annoyed by the intellectual laziness that I think I see in that question. I mean, that's where I'm at with it, especially when, again, people in the entrepreneurship niche, this is nothing new. Nexuality asks, what was the question? So it's about the fact that a lot of people will razz me sometimes that I have 300,000 subscribers, but I'll get like 10,000 views on a video. I mean, it's not really that different from what Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and Evan Carmichael, who are also entrepreneurs in the niche, get on videos. My friend Sonny Leonarduzzi. I mean, people bigger than me get less views sometimes because, frankly, if you have an older audience and you're not, like, if you don't have people that are watching YouTube videos at the lunch table at school, that's the biggest audience on YouTube. So I don't know what you want. I don't know what you're expecting. You know, I like evergreen views. I like long form content. Most people don't have 20 minutes or an hour. So, you know. So, you know, that's what you know, kind of bugs me a little bit about that. Let's see here. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yep, agree. This will not be a 5-hour live stream. In fact, I put a timer on this one. But yeah, guys, just be careful about fair use and make sure you're reading the community guidelines, or pop in some headphones and go to the live stream where we talked about the community guidelines and I read the terms of service for you. You know, and yeah, YouTube doesn't always notify subscribers. You know, I really wish that more of the videos got directly to the subscribers who signed up for them, but at least you guys who are here in the live streams, I know that pretty much you guys have notifications, so boom, that's awesome. Andy San asked, what's the best way to get referrals from your freelance clients? I'm trying to go full-time with it. Best way to get referrals from your freelance clients is to first hit them up without asking for a referral. Check in on them, find out if there's any more work you can do for them straight up, and then ask them if they would mind doing a testimonial for you, and then from there ask for referrals for other clients. I actually did a whole video about that. You should definitely check out. But there is there's a lot you can do with that. The other thing is, I would recommend that you watch my video that I have coming out next week about how to make $1,000 a week freelancing. So if you want to be a freelancer, I have a video next week. It's going to be how to make $1,000 a week freelancing. It's going to be about what I did at my peak and how I got that business. So that's something I plan on doing. Let's see, this is an interesting question. Someone asked that Someone had an interesting question. And then I'm going to get to my other two stories here. I'm trying to find the person who asked this because someone asked me about money versus subscribers. I want to acknowledge this question because I want to answer this question. It's like actually interesting to me. Just trying to hunt it down because someone asked. Here it is. Jerome Henry says, would you rather have 10 million subscribers or $10 million USD? Easy answer. Easy answer. Easy answer for me. $10 million in cold, hard cash. Like, hands down. There is no contest, no hesitation in my mind or heart. 10 million subscribers on YouTube? Nope. Don't care. Nope. Not interested. $10 million folding cash today? Yeah. Sign me up for that. I'll make that deal right now. Handshake on it. Done. Give me the $10 million. Give me the $10 million. You can keep the 10 million subscribers. You can have 100,000 subscribers I already have. Just, there you go. Thanos snap. Like, whatever. Give me the 10 million. Not even joking. 10 million. I already know how I'll spend it. First of all, roughly 5 million going into index funds. I will break it up so that I'm still FDIC insured and I can't lose that money. I'll break that money up into investments that are insured, and so that's 5 million. So that's half of it right off the bat. Million in cash in a safe or buried somewhere, partly buried somewhere, partly hidden somewhere. Break that up, diversify that, and then the other 4 million I'm going to invest into businesses. I'm going to probably invest a lot of that into businesses. I'll do $1 million to, I don't know that I'll actually donate $1 million to charity. I think I'll use $1 million to build my own engine for philanthropy. I'd build my own foundation that's a charitable organization that can distribute funds instead of trusting that much money to a single charity or organization. I'd want to make sure that I build something that can grow money to raise money for charity so that we can raise millions. And then I would just invest the rest into my own business ventures. And that's how I'd spend the 10 million. 10 million moves the needle on my goals faster than 10 million subscribers. 10 million subscribers is nice. A lot of people with 10 million subscribers don't make 10 million in cash every month or every year or at all. So if I have to choose between 10 million subscribers on YouTube and $10 million, I'm taking the cash. Taking the cash. And like I said, I already know how to spend it. I'll put half of it in investments that'll grow money in the market for me, that remain insured, so I don't lose money. Pull out that interest as it accumulates past the point of me having it protected, put it back into the market, rinse and repeat. Grow my money. Safest way to grow my money. So that's me, though. That's me. That's not advice for you. Get your 10 million, do what you want with it. But yeah, if anyone's offering me $10 million versus 10 million subscribers, I'll take the money. I'll take the money. Ferrero, channels were getting copyright striked by a foreign copyright holder. Watch the replay if you want to know about the details. Or someone in chat can tell you. Premix Pedal says, Roberto, can I use cover songs from local bands in my videos without fear of copyright strike? I wouldn't recommend it. I'll be very real with you. Right now, I wouldn't do fair use content in YouTube, personally. Some of you, it's the content you really are passionate about, and what you really want to make. And guess what? If that's the case, don't become a full-time YouTuber on fair use content that can be copyright striked. I don't recommend it, period, anymore. It's too dangerous, in my opinion, to build your income on something that can be claimed and copyrighted, and your channel and your income can be struck down. I'm like, nope, don't do it. You want to be full-time on YouTube? Cool. Do content that isn't subject to copyright claim. Like, it's too dangerous, in my opinion. Roberto, my content isn't as Sarah says. Roberto, my content isn't as diverse as yours. I think a handful of my subs watch my videos on a regular basis. I get 20 views in the first 24 hours of upload. It happens like I Yeah, it's annoying that when I click on the super chats, it freezes up the actual chat box, and so it makes it harder. So I'm gonna have to figure out a workaround for that. Roberto, P.S. Part of that might be because I also have an older audience. I think most of my audience is over 25. Yeah, that has an impact. The age and type of audience that you have affects a lot in YouTube. So I don't doubt it. World of Sin says, it's going to be considerably more difficult for me doing anime stuff without a little bit of fair use. World of Sin, if you want to do anime stuff and it's going to be fair use, cool, do it. Just don't quit your day job to do it, because what if you get copyright striked? What if your channel gets deleted? So figure out another way to make money that lets you quit your day job if you don't want to do a day job, but don't try to do everything full time if your content is fair use. I think that's an issue. Also, yeah, you got to make your audience feel like Front Page Tech is right. Congrats to Front Page Tech on 100,000 subscribers. Join the 100K club. But yeah, you got to make your audience feel like they can't miss what you put out. Now, that's easier for some people rather than others. John Prosser has a tremendous personality. Is one of the funniest dudes I've ever known. Has tremendous energy. My on-camera presence and charisma is not as good as John Prosser. So I have to rely on people caring about the topic more than caring about me, because that's just where I am at my charisma level. And that's where I am in my career, to where most people are not coming to my YouTube channel for Roberto Blake. Not yet. There is a plan for that pivot at some point. But I'm not John Prosser. I'm not Gary Vee. Very few people are. And so people are not coming to the channel for me. And that's fine for right now. They're coming mostly for the information and the topic. I get them to stay for me for a ridiculously long average view duration. So I'm doing something right. But a lot of people, I'm good for them for one video or a series of videos that gave them what they need, and then they move on. And because I'm there to serve that audience and to help them, I'm okay with that. I never expected to get to 100,000 subscribers anyway, let alone do it in 3 years on YouTube, let alone get the 340,000 in 5 years on YouTube. Wasn't part of the plan, wasn't something I expected, wasn't something I felt entitled to, so I'll take it. That being said, it's just where I am right now. Javier Mercedes says, what's crazy is you can hold my attention for a 20-minute video. That's what I'm good at. I try. I do try. Jennifer Morales says, I go to your channel for you. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. I really do appreciate that. Roberto, what about the YouTube audio library? Do these songs get analyzed by YouTube before they're placed in the library or for other YouTubers to use? So some of these have criteria where if you are doing that music, some of them are royalty free, other ones will split monetization, and other ones will take your monetization, but they won't strike you. So you can use the audio content library. Here's my answer to it. There is no reason, unless you're doing a parody or a cover, to use copyright music specifically in your YouTube channel. No one knows you have that music in there that's on the radio when they click on a thumbnail or a title. It doesn't matter. I know a lot of popular and big YouTubers do it, but a lot of them also make more money than you, to where if they lose money on one video or something, it's not going to hurt them. So I mean, I don't. There's not a reason. Look, I mean, not everyone's doing the kind of content I'm doing, and I totally get that, and not everybody's me. But I'll tell you this much: I'm on my way to 400,000 subscribers, and I don't use copyright music in my videos. My videos cover things that could stand to be a little bit more exciting, a little bit more cinematic, and I do okay. So, I mean, I've known plenty of channels to get to 100,000 or get to 1,000,000 and not have to use copyright music. Now, with regard to fair use of television and movie show reviews, I think there needs to be more leniency there. And in some cases there has been. We've gotten progress, but it's not reliable. It's not reliable. If any of these companies change their mind, what do you do? I approach this. I could have been a great Star Wars YouTuber. I could have been a great television show review YouTuber. I know so much about pop culture and geek culture, and I go to things like Dragon Con, and I speak on these panels, and I like to do the photography. But you know what? It's not reliable because a copyright holder could just destroy my entire thing that I built. So I don't really, that wasn't that appealing to me. So I was like, yeah, you know what? So just be careful and just play it as smart as you can for as long as you can, but know that you're always vulnerable in that way if you go that route. It's a great way to build a big channel. It's a great way to build an audience. It's a great way to do something you love, but is it reliable for the long term for you to make your money and to keep it and to keep your hard work? So I'm just really concerned about that. Juice, yeah, TubeBuddy is almost like cheating. It's so good to use TubeBuddy. In fact, that actually takes me to the sponsored portion. I actually wish I'd gotten to this part earlier, but we're okay. But our live streams here are sponsored by our good friends at TubeBuddy. At least this one is today. So guys, there's a discount code for TubeBuddy, tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use discount code Roberto'sBuddy and you get 20% off. And ultimately, this tool is partially responsible for some of my success on YouTube. I actually use a lot of the productivity tools. I use card templates for my end cards. Excuse me. I also use it to filter comments so I can see comments I haven't answered. I like to use it to schedule my published videos. I also like it to do bulk editing so I can change the links for the discount codes and the products in the description of my videos. So check out TubeBuddy. Thank you to our friends Phil and Andrew and all the gang over at TubeBuddy for sponsoring this YouTube channel and these live streams for you guys. Also, they're probably going to be hosting my meetup at Vidsummit, which is super exciting. You guys should come visit me October at Vidsummit. Grab tickets if you haven't already. Gary Vee is going to be speaking. They're going to be giving out some of the Gary Vee sneakers, the Clouds and Dirt sneakers, for people who attend Vidsummit. TubeBuddy is going to be there. I'm going to be there. I think we're doing a panel, me and the Tube Buddies, Nick Nimmin, Brian G, Owen. We're going to be getting together. We're getting the band back together. So you guys can enjoy that. So link to TubeBuddies in the description. Check it out. You guys know it's my secret weapon for growing this channel. Speaking of growing this channel. So there are a couple of things we've been doing on this YouTube channel that have been interesting. And, you know, even with me taking a lot of days off. Like, actually, let me refresh this. So, last video was Tuesday, and I put out a video daily day that subscribers. You know, it wasn't my average. I mean, and the subscribers a day, subscribers in a day, but you know, and it looks like some of you are experiencing buffering. So if some of you are experiencing some buffering or delays, I apologize. It's probably because I'm behind a VPN. And why am I behind a VPN? Because some people suck. That's why I'm behind a VPN. And some people like to try to take down your live streams. So, you know, having a VPN kind of helps. NordVPN isn't our sponsor, not yet anyway, but we do have an affiliate link that gets you 66% off. So if you're a live streamer, you can live stream safely and not have people DDoS your live streams or any nonsense like that, or try to get your IP address. So might want to consider getting that 66% off discount. We got a link for you in the description down below from our friends over at NordVPN. Not a sponsor, but an affiliate. Just keep that in mind. Keep safe. But yeah, growing the channel substantially. Really happy with it. Videos have been performing pretty well. And I mean, I have some things that I know worked for our channel. Some things that I've had other people testing on their channels as well that have worked and proven to be successful. But I'll tell you that, like, just making sure you're asking for the subscribe when the majority of your audience is still peak on your channel in a video, like in the first minute or two, does help. But you have to deliver a reason for them to subscribe, and also getting people to watch more videos and referencing your videos verbally and linking to them is actually really helpful. So, that's something that I think is just kind of important to point out. If you were looking to grow, asking for the subscribe instead of assuming that people know how to do it actually matters. Here's another factor. If you have an older audience, they don't always know how YouTube works, so consider a little bit of show and tell when it comes to asking for and telling them that they should subscribe. How long does that discount last? I don't think there's a time limit on that discount. I think that discount is just around. Let's see. So yeah, let's see. If you're wondering what a VPN is, Google it. I would say Google it. Roberto, how can we market videos properly? Watch the 250 plus videos I've done on how to grow a YouTube channel and how to market your videos effectively, or watch any of my video marketing keynotes that people usually go and pay to attend at conferences that I put up for free on this channel. They're an hour long, they're detailed, but they're free. So that's what I would recommend. The Eagle says, my growth is stalled. Eagle, if your growth is stalled, consider the simple fact that you might be making videos for the audience you have instead of the audience you want to grow. So just kind of think about that. Yeah, but I think the growth on the channel has been very well. I think I've figured out what works very well on the channel, which I already kind of knew, but it was a matter of confirming some of those things and what will pop on the channel. And there are some videos that I've done very well. In fact, we had some videos recently. In fact, the last video I uploaded is actually continuing to do well. It's generating new views all the time. But I have a couple of videos that I think evergreen-wise are going to keep adding value to the inventory. I think definitely in the next couple of weeks here we'll be at 350,000 subscribers. But I also think that before the end of the year, there's a chance that the channel might go to 400,000 subscribers. We'll see, which is nice. I mean, I don't usually set subscriber goals, but like I'm at a point to where from a gamification standpoint, if I'm bored, I could always say, I wonder what will grow the channel. I mean, I generally know what videos will and won't perform. I have a good track record for that, actually. I mean, if you even look at the channel here, and let me just, whoops, here we go. There's the shortcut we need. I mean, if you look at the channel, and you look at what gets views and what obviously will keep getting views, and what has gotten views historically on the channel. I mean, this last month there was a video that I did that popped 107,000 views, still going strong. A video with 67,000 still going strong. A lot of these have 10K or better. Some of these will definitely evergreen wise, but then there's some that tanked and there's almost no bringing them back no matter what I do. Some of the camera videos, which you would think, I made these more cinematic, actually. I went, like, these were like almost like Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat edited style videos that did not perform well on the channel. It just goes to show you partly that a lot of it is not your production values. A lot of you think that if you get the right camera, you shoot in 4K, you get a gimbal, you do all this fancy stuff, that you'll get more views on a channel. Every one of these things that are talking head, that are like 10 and 20 minute videos that are talking head, always outperform. Whenever I make a cinematic video that is intense, and I do a bunch of slow-mo B-roll, and I make a feature-length film quality YouTube video, it never performs on this channel. It's never once actually performed well on the channel. Not once. When I put in that level of cinematic effort, not once. But talking head videos on this channel for this audience, kill it. Kill it. I'll get 30, 50, 100,000, a million views sitting in front of my desk giving advice instead of doing a cinematic thing. Every time. So a video that takes me an hour to edit always beats a video that takes me 10 hours to edit. Every single time on this channel, without fail. It's never been proven wrong. Every time that I've put 10 hours into editing a YouTube video, it is bombed. Every single time. Anytime I put 5 hours into editing a YouTube video, it's dead. It's dead on arrival. Every single time. Every single time. But some of that could be the title. Some of it could be the title. Maybe the thumbnail. I'm going to try to experiment a few more times, and there's some other things that I'm going to do with when I want to make those more polished videos. But again, those polished videos have never performed on this channel. And part of the reason I bring it up, and I'm so proud of that fact, is there are a lot of you that are taking 8 hours on a single video, and it's not growing for your channel. And yet, something easier for you to do that takes half the time, there's a chance that it will get double the views and watch time that you're looking for. You just have to figure out what fits for your channel and fits for your audience, because there are things that I do. This one, there's like a Gary Vee style edit, and it was filmed behind the scenes and all this stuff during a client meeting. 3,000 views. We did a live stream that's 3 hours, 15,000 views. I mean, so it all really just comes down to what title and thumbnail will work for you. I mean, 10,000 views on a 3-hour live stream. So it all just depends on what works and what doesn't, based on what you have authority in, based on what plays to your strengths and skills. Here's another thing, by the way. 5-minute videos don't work on this channel anymore. 5-minute videos underperform compared to 15 and 20-minute videos on this channel. Proven fact. You see it yourself. The videos that perform best on this channel are longer videos. Everyone's convinced that 5 or 6-minute videos are the entire game. Nope, not for this channel anyway. So, I mean, you just have to understand what will work for your niche, what will work for your audience, what will perform, and what won't, and act accordingly. Now, here's the problem. The problem is that not everything that performs on your channel is something you want to do, or something that your audience like, or that fits with your audience. Just because it gets views doesn't mean that it resonated, doesn't mean it was the right video to make. But I make videos because I want to. Like, I make videos because I want to. So for me, I feel like, because I have a business outside of YouTube, I use YouTube somewhat as marketing leverage, and because I'm making the videos that I want, that maybe there are videos that I could make that would perform better on the channel, but they're not the videos that I think serve the needs of my audience nearly as much. For example, Lou Official says, the 100K salary video is what brought me back to your channel. Unless your marketing strategy is literally art of videography, getting a fancy camera is useless. Just spit the truth. I mean, it is up to a point, but a good camera does mean that you can handle low light situations. So for my public speaking, I have an expensive camera for that. And there is some process videos teaching how I make these videos from beginning to end that I want to do. In fact, we have a sponsorship coming up where that will be involved, and I will literally show you guys the step-by-step, show you in the real world the step-by-step to doing a lot of this stuff. And for that, the gimbals and things actually kind of do matter, and having the good camera gear kind of does matter for some of that. So I would just say that you have to know whether what you're doing is fitting. And the thing is, I now know the title and thumbnail if I'm going to do a more polished video that I think can work, and so I'm going to test some of that out, because it's down to the title and thumbnail more than anything else, because that's what draws people in. If you want to edit faster, I've actually done a tutorial and I've done a tips video on how to edit faster, because that's part of my workflow, and I've revealed all of it. I'm not hiding it. Momo B. Wilden says, related to what you said, should you feel ashamed of doing some videos that you don't necessarily enjoy simply because they would perform better? I'm not going to tell you what you should feel ashamed about, because that's on you. I don't like to make videos just to get views. I don't do it to get views. I'm like, look, I told you guys, I never expected to get to 100,000 subscribers. I never expected to get a silver play button. Not anytime soon. Like, I didn't expect this to be a reality, but it is. And I'm proud and I'm happy, and it's great that we have this community. But I didn't get into YouTube to be a big YouTuber. I got into YouTube because I wasn't going to go to college and teach the things I know, and they weren't going to let me do it, and there was going to be red tape, and the traditional education system failed me in many ways. The traditional education system fails artists and entrepreneurs every single freaking day. Every single freaking day. And they weren't going to necessarily let me in the door to deliver my value and to serve people. And even if they did, was it going to be 100,000 people in my lifetime, let alone in a couple of short years? Probably not. It doesn't scale. That's something that someone as impatient as me with that kind of thing probably couldn't deal with. So I got into YouTube as a creative outlet, as an outlet for sharing my knowledge and education, and to feel just a little bit less alone in the things that I wanted to talk about, because I didn't have enough people around me that wanted to talk about the same things that I wanted to talk about. And so I get to talk to them about them with you guys almost each and every single day, whether it's in YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. I get to talk about the things that matter to me. Do you realize how great that is? Do you realize that people go their whole life wishing they had people that they could share the things they enjoy with, but they were born in the wrong country, or they were born and they live in a small town and nobody gets them? I come to YouTube and I can actually find a community that accepts me and values me and shares my interest and my thoughts and my feelings on things. That's a gift. I mean, even if it's 5,000 people, that's a lot. 500 people, that's a lot. I mean, have you ever been in a room full of 50 people? If you've never spoken in front of people, that's scary. But people cry about their views when they have 50, 500, 5,000 people. I'm grateful for every view. I'm grateful for the 223 people that took their Saturday night off to spend an hour with me. I mean, who gets that, right? So I just, like, I don't make videos just because I want views. I mean, you know, like, I mean, people don't get that. Like, Momo Be Wild, and case in point. But honestly, the purpose behind what you're doing doesn't really matter simply because people only see the end result, isn't it? No. Like, guys, like, do you realize how much of my... Where's my camera? Where's my other camera? Ah, there it is. I was doing something earlier. Do you realize, guys, do you realize how much of this that I do that you never see, or that I post it for 24 hours in an Instagram story and then it's gone and you guys never see it again? Do you realize how many shots I've taken with my camera that none of you will ever see, but it's photos that sit in my private galleries or that sit in my house printed up and put on the walls? I don't make things for other people to see it all the time or feel that's pointless just because nobody sees it. I make stuff because I want to make something. You know why? That's called being a creator. When I was a kid and I was in school, I would sit there and I would rush through my work and take a C on something that I could have been patient and gotten an A on so that I could draw for another 30 minutes because I'm a creator. Creators create. I don't create stuff just for you guys or just for applause or acknowledgement or for people to know that I exist. I create stuff because I want to, because I can't breathe if I don't create. I can't breathe if I don't create. I'm miserable when I don't create. I don't take a pass or skip a day of not making something. Whether it's writing something, whether it's a bloody tweet, whether it's snapping a photo, whether it's doing it with my phone, whatever, I make stuff for me. I make stuff for me. On occasion, more often than not, I do make stuff for you guys, but I was making stuff for me before any of you knew or cared who I was. I was making stuff for me since I was like 4 years old, maybe younger. I was making stuff for me. So, I mean, the idea in crying, whether like, look, if you need to make something to feel you're acknowledged and that like people know you exist, you might not be a creator, you might be a performer, and that's fine. But I want you to understand the difference. Creators create. Performers need an audience. Creators need an outlet. I needed an outlet. Nobody was watching when I first made my videos, and like, you know, when I posted, like, I didn't post to YouTube hardly. I posted like a couple times a year for 4 years. I wasn't doing YouTube to be a YouTuber or caring about views. I was just putting out videos on the internet, and I didn't even want an audience until I felt I was good enough to deserve one, and when I didn't feel embarrassed by my content. Like, a lot of you, when did you get your first 100 subscribers? When did you get your first 1,000 subscribers? Don't know. I didn't care. And it sounds sad and it sounds condescending to say I didn't care about getting 100 or getting 1,000. It wasn't some achievement to me. You know what? I bypassed it as a milestone because I was actually upset that I had people that committed because I didn't feel my content was good enough yet. I still hated my editing. I didn't like my audio. I didn't like my on-camera presence. I didn't like my voice. There was so much I didn't like about not feeling like I was good enough yet that when I got an audience, I was mortified and I didn't feel like it's something I even deserved yet because I was still practicing at it. I was still practicing, and people showed up and committed their day to my dress rehearsal. I was actually frustrated because I felt the pressure of that to deliver something better for them, and my abilities weren't there yet because I hadn't put in enough work yet. And so when I get frustrated with the community, it's because of the audacity of people to feel frustrated or feel entitled to an audience or feel sad that they don't have one, when all I wanted was to make sure I was good enough to deserve the people that showed up for me in the first place, and I never felt like I was for a very long time. And I kept working at getting better because of that. I didn't ask for more subscribers. I didn't pray for more subscribers. I wanted to work at getting better. But that's me, because I'm neurotic, and I have self-esteem issues, and nothing's ever good enough for me. Other people just want attention. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. I mean, rant over. But, like, I mean, that's just a little bit insight into my neuroticism. My neuroticism is that I am not a performer. That doesn't come natural to me. On-camera charisma and doing a live stream doesn't come natural to me. It's something that I've practiced and worked at, and like now it seems normal to me. It seems normal to you. Watch my earliest content. It wasn't natural, clearly, obviously. It took me 1,000 executions to get this good. It might take you 100. You've got talent I don't. A lot of you, probably the far majority of you, almost every one of you probably is more talented than me, to be very frank about it. To be very real. Most of you are more talented than me. Almost everyone I've met in my life is more talented than me. So I always outwork them. I always work to be better at whatever little bit of raw ability that I actually have. To use an anime reference, a lot of you are Sasuke Uchiha. A lot of you are Sasuke Uchiha. You were born with tremendous talent that you coast on or whatever, and that's fine. I'm like Naruto or Rock Lee. I just work with what I've got. And it turns out to be good enough to compete with people who have extraordinary talent. You know? I mean, I'm not... A lot of you, you show up, you roll out of bed, you're good at something. Not me. You know, I'm good at analyzing patterns. You know, I'm good at problem solving. I'm good at puzzles. That's my talent, I guess. I'm not naturally good at anything else. So I just work at it. I keep hammering away at it 1,000 times because I have patience with processes. I have patience with machines. I have patience with systems. I had to work at being good with people because I'm not naturally good at that either. And a lot of you don't realize that. That's something I worked at. So, you know, I just focus on the things that I know that if I work at this, there is a chance that I can improve. There are a lot of things that no matter how hard I work at, I'll never be that good at or never be able to rival someone with a natural talent. And I leave those things behind and focus on things that I know that I'm good at. That I'm good enough at. That I can, that I can just, okay, this is something that I'm a 50 at, but I believe that if I work at it, I can be an 85. I won't be as good as someone who's naturally a 90, but because they're naturally a 90, there's a chance I'll catch them on a day when they're slipping, and they'll put in the work of an 80, and then my 85 beats them. So, that's how I approach it. And when I'm at 85, cool. What's really similar to that thing that I became an 85 at? Let me get good at that. Now I'm an 85 at two things that are very close to each other. And then what's close to those two things that I can be an 80 at? Yeah, sometimes you find something, sometimes you find something that you enjoy, but you don't feel like you can do it because it's not paying off. Totally get that. There are things that I've experienced like that in life, but that's something that clearly isn't a priority then. It's clearly not a priority. If you don't feel that you can show up and do it for you, then you're not passionate about it. Maybe you enjoy it, but it doesn't fulfill you in a way that can sustain you by itself, and you need to get something out of it. And I'm not talking about financial benefit unless that's the driver for you. There are plenty of things that make me money that I'm just not interested enough in to do, to be very real. I leave money on the table all the time because I'm I can make money doing something I like instead. But that's me. Because I prioritize that because I spent so much of life doing things I didn't like and doing things I didn't like, especially for money, that it's just too painful to me. Even if there's more money to make doing something I don't like, I just would rather make less money because I make enough. To be frank, I'm in a position where I'm very humbled and blessed to be privileged to have worked for that. But if it's the difference between, if it was the difference between do something I like for 5,000 or do something I dislike for 10, it's an easy choice. I do what I like and I take the 5. I take the 5,000 over the 10,000 if it's something I like because I'm not going to get that time back and a bad experience. What isn't worth double the money for me personally, that number would have to go a lot higher. So, Clover Tax says, $5. First of all, thank you for the $5 super chat, Clover. Appreciate you, buddy. Regardless of what you do, you got to sleep at night. Stay real and stay awesome. Thanks for the live, Roberto. Thank you, Clover. I always appreciate you having my back. So, me, I have to do things that mean something to me and are satisfying to me. Part of that is giving value to other people because I think part of the way I validate myself is how useful am I? How useful am I to a person? How useful am I to society? How useful am I? I think that for me, that is part of my validation is I want to feel like I am of use. Other people want to feel relevant. I want to feel useful. Other people want acknowledgement. I want to be acknowledged for skill, for intelligence, for aptitude, for work ethic. Those are values of mine, and I literally mostly want to be acknowledged on the things that are valuable to me. I think most people are that way if they're honest with themselves. So I think you have to have a level of self-awareness to know what does it for you. What does it for you? What drives you? What motivates you? What wakes you up in the morning? What keeps you up at night? Like, what do you want from the world? What do you want from other people? I've reached a point in my life to where there's very little that I want from other people. And until I figure out what that is, I just create value and I make sure that I'm useful and that I create a good experience where I can. My regrets are the times I'm not kind. Maybe the exception is my YouTube comments, because sometimes I'm not very kind to the trolls. I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. I'm not a saint. I don't even think I'm a role model. I don't really think anybody is. Up to a point. I think it's hard to be or to have a role model that you haven't ever met and that you don't experience them on a regular basis. I don't like people making social media people role models. I don't like people making me a role model because you don't live with me, you don't know me, you don't experience me on a regular basis. So basing what you want to be in life off of me, I think is flawed. I think reverse engineering my process or seeing if there's a part of my philosophy that makes sense or pertains to an aspect of your life is fine. I feel like that's more like being a mentor from afar, but I think that's different from being a role model in terms of someone you look up to and aspire to be like on an individual level in a personal way. I feel like that's a very dangerous thing. I feel like friends, family members, people in your community make better role models because you understand who they are versus the person that, like, I think people in social media, I think many of them, at least I know that I'm authentic, I'm real, my filter is somewhere between 5 and 15% at best because of radical honesty, which is just my thing. Not everybody is okay with that, and it's not always great. It alienates people, it's polarizing, but it's fine because not all of yourself is appropriate to the context of the conversation you are having with your community at all times. Hey Siri, stop. Also, the reality is that if you're 110% of yourself with everybody in the world, have you reserved any intimacy for the people in your life? So I don't like that idea that you should be 100 quote unquote with your audience or your community. It doesn't make sense. Have you left no personal breathing room for your intimate relationships and the context of who you are with them? And so that's where I think a separation makes sense, and I respect the people who have that foresight and separate aspects of their private life, their family life, and things of that nature from what they do in social media. So as much as we value transparency and authenticity, there is something to be said for keeping some of yourself for yourself and for the people that you love. And I know I'm rambling, but I just kind of I'm thinking this out loud as I say it, and it's like, this is something that I think actually no one's having a conversation around, is how much of yourself is for other people, and then how much of yourself is for you and the people closest to you, the people that truly are invested in your life. And that's why I don't think that social media personalities and people are role models, or should be, because role models to me should be the people that are in your intimate circle of life that have that level of connection with you and that you do experience on a regular, and that what that, the difference between that filter and what it is and what it represents versus the curated portion of a person's life that you get to get in chunks and bits and snippets at a time. And again, it wasn't personalized. A social media person, your interactions with them are rarely personalized. They're for a group. They're not one-to-one in many cases. I think having a role model that you don't have a one-to-one relationship with is impractical, to put it mildly. I think that having that person as a distant mentor, and I think that everyone should consider having 3 to 5 mentors from afar that they're analyzing and studying. I think that that's valuable. For me, those people would represent Peter Vogt, I would definitely say, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Lily Singh, who else? I would definitely say, to some Elon Musk. There's, these are people that I don't have necessarily a direct relationship to or a lot of access to. There are people who have been mentors from afar of mine that now are personal friends that I have more access to. So now I consider them friends more than mentors. I consider them friends and contemporaries, because I do have access to them. I can call them, I can text them, I see them a couple of times a year. I could visit them if I wanted. I think that is a different level of relationship. And I think that if you are going to have a role model, it's someone who has an active role in your life. An active role in your life. I think that the role that social media influencers have in people's lives is passive in nature. So, yeah. Looking at some of you guys' comments here. Clover Tack, yeah, not having real and proven people as role models is a bit dangerous. Yeah, no, I agree. Travel with the Eagle says, if I could have that extra 40 hours a week to be more creative, so many ideas and not enough time, I would say that you have to learn to maximize the time that you have. I don't spend 40 hours a week on content. A lot of people do. Mad respect to them. But I do not spend 40 hours a week on content. I think I spend 40 to 60 hours a month at this point. But also I'm ramping up content, and I've been doing longer form content, and that has more to do with it. If I were doing shorter form content, it wouldn't take nearly as long. Yeah, so for me, it's like between 40 and 60 hours. So I think that's practical. Fiberific is here. We got the Roberto Blake mentor through Awesome Creator Academy. It's excellent. Well, thank you for the plug for Awesome Creator Academy. If you guys didn't know, part of how I have my business that supports me outside of YouTube, which I do need to talk about, is I have AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com is my online coaching business for digital entrepreneurs and for social media. So something we have is we have the mentoring program for Awesome Creator Academy. It's either $59 a month or $500 for the year. Think about it like this: $2 a day in value. Do you really think I can fail to deliver $2 a day in value for you? So think about that. There's a lot of stuff we do in there. We do monthly mastermind calls. We do Q&A sessions. And we have over 100 other creators and entrepreneurs in there. Some of them have 6 or 7 figure businesses. Other of them are starting out or are students. We have a great diversity in the group. So it's something to consider if you want positive reinforcement, a network of people, possibly people you can work with or collaborate with, people who can give you feedback, and a little bit more access to me. This is an affordable option. Obviously, my one-on-one private coaching for 90 minutes is a little expensive for some of you. For those of you who have a lucrative business but you want to get better at your social media, your personal brand, or you want to build your speaking career, this is practical. I also have coaching packages if you want a longer term commitment and multiple calls instead of a one-off. For those of you who are not comfortable on camera, we've got the Formula for Awesome Videos course. Because I was at Video Marketing World, if you're watching this in September, you've got about 2 to use the discount that is in the description for the Formula for Awesome Videos course. I think we did like a 30% or 35% discount on that. And so if you're struggling to make videos, you don't feel comfortable on camera, you don't know what gear to buy, you don't have a system for making as much content as you would want, you want to refine that process, Formula for Awesome Videos. So I make awesome videos on purpose instead of videos that suck. So you might want to buy that. For those of you who want one-on-one 30-minute YouTube channel reviews, we have an option for that. I believe the same code for Video Marketing World that is in the description for the Formula for Awesome Videos will get you 30% off of the YouTube channel review as well. For those of you who want to make templates for your YouTube thumbnails, you're not good at Photoshop, but you want good clickable thumbnails that will get you views and help you generate subscribers. I have some of the best ones here. There's 70 YouTube templates for thumbnails, but we also have YouTube templates for channel artwork that's full screen. It'll even work on TVs. We have end cards for you so you can drive traffic to your other videos. So there's over 160 downloads in the YouTube Starter Kit. It's usually $99, but we have a discount code in the description down below for you guys. So grab that up, and it's really a good tool. A lot of you are actually using it. Some of you might have seen some of the more popular templates, but we're actually adding more graphics packs. There will be, before the end of the year, 100 thumbnail downloads that you can get, because there's 70 of those right now, but we have 160 downloadable assets total, plus access to royalty-free music, all kinds of goodies. So check out the YouTube Starter Kit if you are a YouTube creator. Use the discount code in the description and save money on this. It will come out to, I think, 30% off or more. That's what I believe we set the discount code for. So just make sure you're checking that out. Again, buildingawesomecreatoracademy.com. One of the smartest things I think I've done. It is a very lucrative business, and I'm not showing you this to show off. I'm showing this to make the point that building something outside of YouTube with whatever skills you happen to have is going to help you, because what happens if YouTube doesn't work out? What happens if you're not growing? What happens if they demonetize you? You have to have something else to provide for yourself, because YouTube is not something you want to quote-unquote be terminated from. And we already covered at the top of the hour that it could happen to everybody or anybody, especially if you're doing fair use. You know, so I mean, I would just caution you that YouTube is a great vehicle for success, but if you make it a destination, I don't think that's practical, at least not at this point in time. I love YouTube, support YouTube, happy to be a part of the community, but I often worry that a lot of people make it a destination instead of a vehicle. Some of you are asking about TubeBuddy, who's our sponsor. What plan do I recommend? Well, here's the thing. We got a 20% discount code for you, linked in the description. And yeah, this is the portion of the thing where I'm selling stuff, but we'll get back to the conversation. But we have a 20% discount code for you. And what TubeBuddy license do I recommend? Well, I do recommend most people consider getting the Star plan. There is a free version of TubeBuddy. Still sign up using our link, tubebuddy.com/awesome. But if you use discount code Roberto'sBuddy, you get 20% off. Here's what I like about you getting the Star or the Legend plan. And not all of you this is practical for, but hear me out on this. With free, you see that there are limits. Like, there are limits. With the Star plan, you get almost everything. And I think the most valuable things that you get out of the Star plan are the ability to schedule video uploads. So I like that. I like that you can schedule minor changes to videos. I like that you can publish to Facebook. And I like access to these other bulk processing tools like the demonetization check, bulk updating playlist, and end screens. So all these bulk features are part of why I like the Star plan. The video SEO tools, you can get most of them in the Pro plan, which is $9 a month and it is cheaper. But I like the compromise of the $19 a month Star plan, because I think it's the most practical thing for serious YouTubers. So I like that. If you happen to get the any of the paid TubeBuddy plans, guess what? You get additional discounts on the YouTube Starter Kit, which means that if you have a paid version of TubeBuddy and you go into the perks section, you get a discount coupon to where instead of 35% off, if you're using one of my coupons when I'm running them, 30 or 35% off or 20% off whenever I'm running a deal, if you are a pro or star or legend user for TubeBuddy, you get a discount code for 50% off of the YouTube Starter Kit. You also get a sample pack of just a few little assets if you don't decide to buy it, but through TubeBuddy, you can get either a sample pack or you can get 50% off the whole deal. And if you do get the whole deal with the YouTube Starter Kit, you also, for life, get any of the updates that we do, which means if I decide that, all right, it's 200 free downloads, you'll still be eligible and you'll get those. You'll just get an update. So just something to think about. Just something to think about. So thank you to our friends at TubeBuddy for sponsoring and for being partners, and I hope that answered the questions on which one would you get. The Star plan is the most popular plan for a reason at $19 a month, and like I said, you get a little discount using the link down below. If you can't afford it, at least sign up for the free plan and start taking advantage of what is there. If you are making even a little bit of money, it's like get the Pro plan. The Pro plan is $9 a month. It's $9 a month, and we still get you a 20% off discount. $9 a month, candy or beer money for your YouTube channel. If you live in California, it's 2 Fiji waters a month. 2 Fiji waters a month. You know, so if you like that expensive bottled water, it's 2 less bottled waters a month. So just kind of think about that. But yeah, it's worth the money if you can afford it. Definitely worth the money if you can afford it. And like I said, I try to run discounts on some of my stuff. Everyone tells me I'm underselling the value of my stuff. They told me the Formula for Awesome video course. Everyone told me that I should have made that a $400 course. And I know, but I wanted to make it so more of you can make videos that you are happy with, because I fixed the problems that I wasn't happy with in my videos and figured out why I hated my videos. And I made a course about it so you don't have to make 1,000 videos to be happy with them, or 500 videos or so to be happy with them. I think I started getting happy with my videos around video 300. Maybe you should get there sooner, and this course would help you with that. So, you know, I feel that matters. I wanted to make things that were accessible to people. Now, if I make a more expensive course, it's probably not going to be on YouTube and social media stuff. I have a course that I think is going to be a lot more expensive, but it's going to be on how to build a coaching business like I did. But that's going to be for people who are probably already making money or have a business plan. So I don't expect that to be for everybody. That's not the point. If you make something that is expensive, then clearly you're not making it for everybody. And that's fine, by the way. I encourage more of you to build products and courses and things that can provide for you outside of social media and to own your own platform. I mean, at the top of the hour, we talked about channels getting deleted. In the past, we've talked about channels being demonetized. We've seen that there's content that some of the social media platforms just don't want, and that's their prerogative. They own a business. When you run a business, you can do things your way too. I encourage and try to empower more of you to start your own business. It's not for everybody. For those of you that's not, maybe you get a little bit more freedom by freelancing, because then it's the hybrid. You can keep your day job, you can moonlight on your nights and weekends, trade in what would be time watching the football game for making an extra $1,000. Totally worth it sometimes. And then it means when you want to watch that football game, maybe it's on your 60-inch TV because you made some extra money. And you didn't have to spend your tax return on buying that big screen. You made it. You got that money with what you earned in your spare time. So, that's real for a lot of people. Like I said, next week I've got a video dropping how to make $1,000 a week freelancing. That's what I did in my peak. I think it's valuable for a lot of you. Spoiler alert, part of it is charging more. So maybe you watch the video I already put out on negotiating and getting more money, because a lot of you don't have negotiating skills. Negotiating skills help you get better brand deals. Negotiating skills help you get a better salary. Negotiating skills help you get more money from your clients and get what you want. Negotiating skills can be applied to any aspect of your life to get you a better outcome. That's why I made a video on it. More of you can watch that video. It's on the channel. You know, I think the people who did watch that, it didn't get the most views, but the people who did watch that, they're going to have a better life because they're going to have taken their first step into asking for what they really want and saying it correctly and assertively and framing it in a way that another person will respond to favorably. So, you know, to the 5,000 people who watched that video, a lot of them are going to have a great outcome. People who skipped it, they either already have that skill or they're missing out. So it is what it is. And that's why I don't worry about, you know, a lot of the views sometimes, because it's like, hey, I'm doing all right. Like, I get views. I don't. If you want the value of the content, you want the value of the content. If you don't, I get you on the next one or the next one or maybe 10 videos later. So Lady B has an interesting question. What are some skills you feel like people should be building? Well, I think everybody like could stand to improve their tech literacy in terms of their regular skills with tech, troubleshooting, knowing how to research online and look things up so they can learn new skills. So I think research is a big one. I think touch typing is another, so you don't have to look at your keys. I think understanding some basic software and troubleshooting. I think that being able to use a software like an image manipulation or photo editing program like Photoshop opens a lot of opportunities up for you. Because of social media and marketing and even traditional advertising revolves a lot around that. So I think having a technical skill that makes you valuable to anyone who has a profitable business is the answer. What skills are profitable to, or what are high-paying skills that someone like me who has a business, what do we hire for? Well, I hire illustrators, designers, photographers, video editors, and people who understand copywriting or advertising. These are things that I would outsource. People who have organization skills and are good with Excel documents make for excellent virtual assistants or personal assistants. So those skills, very important, very valuable in the market, better than minimum wage by far. I think that being the technical person, you could build a business if you understand live streaming, and you could help events and local businesses market themselves with live streaming. So I think if you master or become proficient at either a technology or a social media platform or a technology appliance, I think that you have a lot of value to the market, and those skills can all be learned for free without a 4-year degree. The 4-year degree is not a qualification for those things. Results are, a body of work is, references are, not a degree. So I think that that makes a lot of sense. I didn't get a 4-year degree. I'm doing just fine. And I was, even when I was an employee, I was able to get good jobs. I was able to work in an ad agency. I was able to work as a marketing manager. I was able to work as a web designer, graphic designer. So, you know, it's not always about a 4-year degree. Most of the time, it's making a contact in the industry. So networking skills are important. Networking skills are the difference between opportunity and failure a lot of times, because it's who you know more than what you know. You have to know enough to be dangerous. You have to know who can give you an opportunity and have access to them. That's a more important skill probably than you're getting out of college most of the time. College doesn't always provide everyone with a network. You didn't go to a good school, you probably don't have a good network based on that alone. Go to conferences instead. Go to events. Go to the local small business association. Go to local meetups and mixers in your community. Go to community events. Get to know, go to the town hall meetings for your local city council. These are things people completely ignore. Opportunities right there to grow your network. Your network is your net worth. Everybody that makes money says so, and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. My career grew more when I got outside of the box, got out of my own office. Look, I didn't network my way to 100,000 YouTube subscribers, but networking after the fact made me successful beyond YouTube and beyond what I could do on my own. And if I had done it sooner, I would have grown and been more successful and more educated a lot faster. So don't take networking for granted. Don't isolate yourself. College isn't always the answer. College doesn't always give you a good network if you didn't go to the right school. And even if you did, what if those people freeze you out? What if those people are snobs or elitist or a clique? College isn't a guarantee of a good network. College isn't a guarantee that you'll be taught in a way that resonates with you and that is useful to you in a way that you can apply. A college degree isn't a guarantee of an opportunity to compete in the marketplace. Plenty of people with degrees that don't get jobs, and they're overqualified more than half the time. They don't have a network, and they also don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to pitch themselves, and they don't know how to find opportunity. And they don't know how to learn on their own. They're not autodidactic learners. So, skills I think you should get: learn to be a researcher. Learn to learn on your own. Learn technical skills, tech literacy. Learn financial literacy. Learn how to manage your money. Learn how to use a software or a hardware appliance that most people don't know how to use. Have unique value to the market. Learn to be useful to a business person with a 6 or 7 figure business that can pay well. Learn to be useful to them. Again, marketing helps sell things. That makes you useful to them. The ability to sell things makes you useful to them. Knowing a little bit more about one thing than they do is enough for them to pay you to do it instead. CEOs value their time. Make yourself useful to them. Social media platforms. A lot of people want access to an audience in social media. Very few people know how to build one. Learning that skill, been invaluable to me. Something I can sell over and over again. Communication skills. Learn to become a public speaker. You can go to Toastmasters. You pay a membership fee for the year, $50 for the year. Start learning to be a public speaker, practice in front of an audience, get feedback, get notes, become a public speaker. Not so you can just sell courses or get paid to speak at events, but because upping your communication skills and your fear of presenting information makes you a better communicator. You can negotiate better. You can be more persuasive. This is going to better you in life. The quality of your life is based entirely on the quality of your communication skills. Tony Robbins. So, I think that those things actually matter. Clover Tech brings up a point. He says, I hate editing at this point. Much rather focus on the programming setup and just go live. Plus live engagement is amazing. But Clover might be somebody that, if he hates editing, somebody could be paid to do that work. So there you go. I was computer, literate very early, but that was a matter of somewhat of exposure, but I also took it seriously. I also took it very seriously. Hard is subjective, I agree, but at this point we live in an age where almost all information is available. Almost all information is available. Almost all human knowledge is right here on the internet, and it's something that comes in the form of audio if you listen to podcasts and audiobooks. Written comes in the form of articles and blog posts and Wikipedia entries and digital ebooks, physical books. I mean, a lot of the information you go to college for, you could just get the same reading list of what they have in college, that same reading list, buy those books yourself, and that will do the majority of it. If you actually read those books cover to cover, there's not as much that the professor can offer you at that point. And even if they could, you could find one of their contemporaries that's probably put their lectures up for free on the internet at this point to build their brand, so that when they write a book or they do public speaking, that it's valuable to them, because professors are putting their lectures up on the internet. There's almost anything that you want to take a college course on, there's probably a lecture on the internet, or there's a real world practitioner on the internet that's put it up for free. So at this point, if you're not going to be a doctor, a dentist, or a lawyer, or a profession that's regulated by the federal government, you probably, for the most part, don't need college. And if you want a network and a peer group, there's probably a local organization for those people that you can access that's affordable or cheap in your community. You could also do an online community, and you can go to conferences, and you can build those relationships for yourself. College can still be lonely and isolating because People say, well, you go to college for the social interaction, those things. What if you're a wallflower? What if you're an introvert? What's the value of college and the network of college to an introvert, or someone who's shy, or someone that's disabled, or someone who has a speech impediment? What's the value of college to that person in terms of the social aspect? Plenty of people aren't sociable in college. What's the value of the network if the people who are the best network freeze you out because you're the poor kid? You know? Or they're elitist, or they don't like the look of you. What's the value of college to that person who's exiled or excommunicated from that? They're still paying money for the same experience and they're getting less, right? So there's a lot of rhetoric to justify going $80,000 to $120,000 in debt. College experience is overpriced. I don't blame the teachers. They're operating within a broken framework and system that's outdated. So I don't blame them for that. They're still just trying to get a paycheck like anyone else. But the framework of college and traditional education is broken. It's broken. I don't know that it can be fixed so much as it's more easy to replace it at this point. And that's my honest feeling. I certainly feel that there are educators that if they, took my advice and they came to me, that they could teach exactly the same thing that they want and make 2 to 3 times as much money and own all of it and not have to answer to an administration and do everything on their own terms. I think there are plenty of teachers that make $50,000 and $60,000 a year that I could teach how to make $250,000 a year coaching, teaching the same thing and doing it at scale using online, social media, and platforms and their own website, and become a best-selling published author and have products. I feel that many of them could benefit from that. They should take my coaching course, when I put that out. Those are things I just feel are the truth about where we're going. Something that's on my mind. I'll probably talk about it in an upcoming video. Gary Vee and Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, these are a lot of entrepreneurs that I admire. They've all made videos basically saying they're not on the fence about it. They think college is a scam. I feel it's more complicated than that, but I share their sentiments on it being overpriced and on the marketing around it being false advertising, that society shames everyone into believing that they should go to college or they're a loser, or they don't go to college, they have no chance at a better future or a higher income. But it's not backed by real data. It's backed by false marketing and a narrative. Colleges brag about their job placement rate, but they still count the job placement rate if you're a bartender, even if you didn't go to college to become a bartender. So when they count the job placement rate, they're counting people even if they're underemployed and even if their degree isn't relevant to their job position. It's also inflated from the perspective of the fact that many of the schools, especially the Ivy League, the people who go there were guaranteed to be successful in the job market regardless of whether they get a degree or not, because of their pedigree, because of their network, because of their breeding, because of who their parents are. And that's not talked about. And if you weed out the individuals who came from a household making less than $80,000 a year and then you did a determination of, well, are they getting good jobs that pay well? The answer is no. But they won't do that case study and they won't share that information, because then the business model of college would go belly up. So, why would that matter? Launchpad Astronomy says, you're teaching astronomy. That's your bit. If you're teaching astronomy and if you got a great camera, there's nothing that stops you from doing a fun and informative coffee table book on astronomy that has some of the best photography of the night sky and galaxy type photos, and having a product that sells in terms of that astronomy book. That astronomy book is branding. Here is part of a product. It may not be coaching exactly for you on astronomy, but it could be. Here's another option. With a YouTube channel if you teach about astronomy and you do astronomy lectures, but the videos are hyperlapse videos done with a good camera of the night sky in a hyperlapse, that's mesmerizing and engaging. And you could have YouTube videos and you could reap a lot of benefit on monetizing those YouTube videos. You could also sell an audiobook on astronomy to the fans of that YouTube channel, or the people who bought the coffee table book of the pretty pictures of the night sky, because you're approaching it from the wrong angle. It's about productizing. And then if you actually were good at the astronomy photos and the astronomy videos, that and teaching how to produce that is something that could be sold as a digital course rather than a coaching business. The ability to create astronomy photos and videos and hyperlapses are valuable because it's a unique technical and creative skill that you can sell to the upper echelon of the market, because someone needs a $1,000 plus camera and a good lens to accomplish that, and a good tripod, and the ability to travel. So this is how someone takes their knowledge, and if they were creative, they can commoditize it into a product. The reason that people join Awesome Creator Academy, or people hire me for one-on-one coaching, is to help them take their knowledge or their skill often and productize it into monetizable vehicles, because they don't know how. An astronomy podcast could pick up sponsorships. An astronomy YouTube channel could also piggyback on that podcast sponsorships. Building a six-figure business around astronomy when we have so many space heads, and the era of SpaceX and Elon Musk is not nearly as challenging as you might think. It just requires someone with an actual business acumen and the creativity to see opportunity instead of failure, which is my skill. My unique skill is to see opportunity instead of failure, to see the process for monetizing and commoditizing something that the market will have a demand from, and marketing it effectively and knowing how to sell. And those are things that some people can learn them, some people can't, and some people hire me or join my coaching program to get my action plan so that they can implement it. So that's how I approach these things, is I look at how to sell and commoditize a skill or a knowledge base, and how to do that as effectively and streamlined as possible with the minimal amount of cost, but sometimes it requires maximum effort. So that's where my true skills shine, and that's where, if you want to work with me, you can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. That's what I provide. That's what I sell. That's why I'm more than a YouTuber. It's why I resent the label YouTuber a little bit, or YouTube guru a little bit, because of the fact that I feel like it minimizes my actual abilities. So, So I just gave you Launchpad Astronomy. I just gave you an entire business plan. You should either hire me for coaching to refine that, or you should join Awesome Creator Academy. Clover Tech says, yeah, I struggle with a precise label as well. I mean, for me, like, creative entrepreneur is what I consider to be, my appropriate label is creative entrepreneur, public speaker, online educator. Feel that fits. Create something awesome today. Someone's asking about the posters in the background. Those are art panels. Those are, I believe those are dogwood flowers are the panels in the back there. So yeah, the back poster there is dogwoods. Dogwoods are something that when I lived in North Carolina we had in the yard. I have dogwood trees here in Atlanta as well. When they bloom, I like to photograph those sometimes. So, yep. Launchpad Astronomy. Dude, you made my night, possibly my life. Hey, you know, I'm not done with you yet. If you want to join AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com, join us over there. You might have more value to give you. You might be able to expand on this idea that I just laid at your feet and really take it to the next level. So, something to think about. Edward Corner says, do you think it is possible to create and monetize the next Smosh or College Humor in 2018? I think that would be challenging. I think that presumes you have the talent of Smosh or College Humor. I would also remind you that the production values to be competitive in the Smosh and College Humor kind of niche, they have names and they built a brand. I think that anyone trying to do that right now would do it operating at a net loss. So I think my short answer is I don't think most people are smart enough to do it in addition to being clever and talented enough, because you'd have to be able to do it at a net loss for a number of years unless you were really talented or had a good coach. I mean, John Prosser, you know, and his partner Brian, they did Front Page Tech for 4 years at a net loss every day. And in the last year, they finally got their moment, and like they grew. They were able to make it very profitable, make a living off of it. But they almost gave up a couple of times, and it took 4 or 5 years of doing it at a net loss, of losing money on it or breaking even for 4 to 5 years. Most people don't have 4 to 5 years to do something to build up their name, build up their rep, or get their moment. Which is, again, part of why I offer coaching and stuff, is to try to accelerate that process, because it usually does take 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, many of you only started watching me this year. You weren't around 3 years ago. You know, you weren't around 4 years ago. You weren't around in 2013. So, I mean, it's been 5 years. I grew to 100,000 in year 3, 20,000 in year 2, 10,000 in year 1. But a lot of you weren't here for that. A lot of you came in year 4 or year 5. A lot of people can't wait 4 to 5 years to be successful. So if you wanted to build Smosh or College Humor, it's not the wild, wild west days of YouTube where you're first or early. So that's a problem. The barrier to entry of the production values of skits is hard in many ways. It's not sustainable up front. And can you operate at a net loss and do a loss leader for 4 to 5 years to get that opportunity? The answer is usually no. So I don't know that it's possible to do that in 2018 for the far majority of people. So, yeah, that's kind of my answer. So yeah, we got some Leo official ask, I wonder if Smosh started in a net loss. Every YouTube channel of the early era started at a net loss or break even, because YouTube wasn't monetizable when Smosh started. When Smosh started, there weren't YouTube ad revenue to be taken. And even then, it's not like it was that good. There weren't a lot of advertisers. Smosh was able, for the first few years of YouTube, to keep their production values low and not spend a lot of money on making their videos in the early days. Watch their old videos. But that was then. This is a new YouTube. This isn't 2008, you know, where quality is making something in HD. Like, they were able to do that at a time where it might not have cost a lot and where they had almost no competition. So trying to have the expectation that you could do what Smosh did is unreasonable to begin with, because you don't have the same market conditions. It's a ludicrous idea to think that because Smosh did it that way, that you can do it that way, when the market conditions are completely different, the demographics of YouTube are different, the advertising conditions and requirements are different. New YouTube, unless you're very smart, very talented, and business savvy, or you have the right people, or you have a mentor or coach that can help you, you're probably going to have 3 to 5 years minimum of operating at a net loss on your YouTube channel. That's the way it is for most content creators, which is why I advise most content creators to freelance to make their money until YouTube is viable. And some of them should freelance regardless because they're doing content that could be subject to penalties, demonetization, or channel deletion. So YouTube isn't viable for most people beyond a hobby, which was always the point. YouTube was not meant to be a living for most content creators, and most content creators, I don't think, should aspire to that because they're being dishonest about the quality of what they do, the maximum ceiling of the audience, and their own commitment to making content. So I think it's somewhat a lack of self-awareness. So I think it's a lack of self-awareness for a lot of people. Herbert Scott says, Roberto, are you familiar with the works of Dan Kennedy? Nope. You seem to be heading in that direction. You have mastered several niches and can bank on executive coaching. I'll have to look into him because that sounds interesting, but I'm not familiar with him. I mean, I only recently found out about Dan Lok, which is great. I read his book in a weekend because a subscriber kept hammering me about it, and I said, all right, I'm going to get his book, I'm going to read it, and then I read it on a trip. So I recently only discovered Dan Lok recently because of some of you in the community. I mean, I found out about Gary Vee a couple of years ago because a friend of mine kept saying I sound like this Gary guy, and then I kept hearing his name over and over again. I couldn't spell it. I didn't know who he was, and it's like, who is Gary? And then I realized, wait, Jared Polin talked about this guy on a podcast episode a while back that I saw. I was like, oh, that's the guy. I was always wondering, who was that guy from Jersey that Jared knew? And then that's how I found out about Gary Vee. And then becoming part of the Vayner Nation, I ended up meeting Gary a couple of times. Great guy in real life. Quiet confidence. More so than on camera. If you meet him in real life, his energy is different. It's more, but it's quiet confidence. It's the actual power of somebody who doesn't have anything to prove. It's very impressive, actually. It's something I'm trying to cultivate myself. You know. So, the salon guy, you should check out my book. Gary wrote me an endorsement. Yeah, no, cool. Hit me up about your book. I would definitely love to check it out. Dan Kennedy is a famous direct marketing professional. All right, that's cool. So I'll definitely check that out. But yeah. So guys, this stream is coming to an end because it's super late. I want to check in on the dogs. You know, they've been almost too quiet, too well behaved. I want to make sure everything's all right down there. But yeah, I can't wait to see you guys at Vidsummit. We talked a little bit about the YouTube Starter Kit. Definitely get that with the discount code down below. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you for all your questions. So thank you to Clifford Starks for the $2 super chat. Have a blessed day all. Keep shining, Roberto. Thank you. $5 from El Jefe Reviews. People would be shocked at the knowledge and online training available for free at your local libraries. I agree, including video editing and so much more. Very good point, El Jefe Reviews. Local libraries and media centers are totally underestimated. Clover Tack, thank you for the $5 super chat. Living in the Keys, appreciate you guys. $10 super chats. Just send in support, and thank you for all the help you provide to many of us. Thanks, Roberto. Thank you, Living in the Keys. Love you guys. Zach Talks Tech, $10. Thank you for moderating, Zach. Brian Brewer, thank you for the $10. Thank you to our newest community members who joined with a channel subscription. Thank you, Janelle Phyllis Brett. Thank you, Pink Lady Come Up. Thank you, Every Entertainment. Thank you to all of the members. And thank you to the members of Awesome Creator Academy who showed up tonight. Fiberific and the rest of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Clover, for moderating, helping manage the chat. Really appreciate you. The Salon Guy, thank you for showing up. Thank you to Front Page Tech, John Prosser for popping in earlier. Fiberific, thank you. Herbert Scott, thanks so much. Fun Foods, thank you for joining the stream. Really appreciate you. You know, and to everybody who's been part of the community and the conversation. Remember, resource links are down in the description below. Thank you to our friends over at TubeBuddy for sponsoring the live stream. We haven't done one of these in a while. Regularly scheduled content will be back up tomorrow or Monday, ideally tomorrow. You know, I just kind of didn't want, I had a video I was working on, I just didn't finish it. I didn't want to go Saturday without seeing you guys and talking to you guys. So I wanted to do a live stream with the majority of you. And I really appreciate you guys showing up for me. Appreciate everybody in the community. Thank you so much. Again, like I said, regular content probably starting back up tomorrow with a very interesting video. So we'll see about that. And then Monday through Fridays, content has been shot. It needs to be edited. But Monday through Friday videos coming your way, coming at you. I don't travel to the end of the month. I will be at FinCon, and I will be at CVX Live in Utah, FinCon in Orlando. If you guys are in the area, come out. Other than that, I'll see you guys in October at Vidsummit with Daryl Eves, Cody Warner, Peter McKinnon, Sarah Dici, and all the rest, all your favorites. So really look forward to that. Would love for you guys to come out to LA in October. We'll make it fun. I'm speaking in New York in November twice. December, I might take off from speaking, guys. December, Alexa almost terrified me, gave me a bloody heart attack. In December, I'm probably just going to visit family and do the holiday thing, do up my house, put everybody else on the block to shame, doing it big. Spending an absurd amount of money on Christmas decorations, going Tim the Toolman Taylor home improvement style on the house for the holidays. So it's going to be lit, literally. So, yeah, fun stuff like that. Any minor housekeeping? Nope. I covered all the super chats. I thanked all sponsor. Remember, resource links down below. Especially don't forget to get 66% off on NordVPN. Down in the description down below. Remember, YouTube Starter Kit, Formula for Awesome Videos, Awesome Creator Academy, all the things. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. It's been my pleasure to do the live stream with you guys. Dan Norton, you want to know what events in New York? Smart Hustle and Name Summit. Smart Hustle and Name Summit are what I'm doing. I need to find some time. Maybe it will be in October. I think I'm a little screwed on timing. In November, I definitely think I'm screwed on timing. I'm trying to figure out taking a vacation at some point this year. I want 4 days in Hawaii. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hell, maybe I do 4 days in Hawaii. Maybe I literally do that right before all my speaking in September. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I want to do 4 days in Hawaii. I'm going to do a vacation. Elevation Olive, can we get a tutorial on Google My Agency dashboard? Nope, not doing it. So nope, sorry, not doing that one. Can you check the discount code? Can you check discount code for Formula for Awesome Videos? It should be. Let's see here. Let me check on that before, because it should be. Okay. Let's see here. YouTube Starter Kit. That discount code is, I think that's the right discount code for the Formula for Awesome Videos. Let me check on that real quick just so I give you guys the right code. If that discount code isn't working, try the discount code DRAGON. For the Formula for Awesome Videos. But let's see here. Coupons. Let me look at my coupons. Make sure that the code that I want you guys to have hasn't expired or anything, because it's possible. Let's see here. Aha. Okay. Let me just update that code. So it's going to be VMW 2018. for the Formula for Awesome videos. That should be updated in the description down below for you guys. So it's VMW 2018 instead of VMW 18. And that's good for a while still, so you can grab it. You could also use the discount code DRAGON. And also, if you use VMW, Video Marketing World, VMW 2018, you can get a discount on a 30-minute YouTube channel review as well, if that's something you've been looking to do. So make sure you take advantage of that. Link, of course, is in the description down below. So, you know, that might be something that you're interested in. So for those of you interested, that gets you a discount. So just look forward to that. And yeah, I think I've taken care of you on the discount code, so it's updated in the description. Yep. Yeah, I've got to figure out when I'm taking my trip to Hawaii. I've just got to time it right. Anyway, guys, one quick question on skippable and non-skippable ads. Check the box for non-skippable ads if you have them. The odds are your channel might not even get that many of them. Skippable ads make the most money on YouTube, so because there are more of them. So I don't think it really matters. I'll talk about it later. I've had non-skippable ads forever. I think it's 15% of my ad revenue. It's not the hugest chunk, but it's not bad. But I'm not convinced that it's that big of a deal. You know. So anyway, all right, you guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. 2 hours of power. I will catch you on the next one. Meanwhile, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care. By the way, if you're hanging out, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to grab the links from the description. This will go live up in YouTube sometime in the morning whenever I wake up. Whenever I wake up, this will be on the channel publicly listed instead of unlisted. All right, guys? Have a good night. Take care.